So we've just been watching their press conference by the US Defence Secretary Pete Hegseth and the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Caine, where they've been talking about what the US is calling Operation Midnight Hammer. That was that operation which dropped bombs on 3 nuclear sites in Iran. We heard Secretary Hegseth describe the operation as focused, powerful and clean. He said it had devastated the Iranian nuclear program. We don't obviously have any independent verification of that at this point, but that is how the US Secretary of Defence Pete Hegseth is describing it. He said it had taken months and weeks of planning, positioning and pre-positioning. And he said that it was the first deployment of these massive ordnance penetrators, these so-called bunker busters that we've been talking about all week. And he said it had been done closely arranged with the allies in Israel. We then heard from the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Caine, who said that this had been carried out with exceptional skill and discipline and had severely degraded Iranian weapons and infrastructure. He said the whole operation had begun at 5 p.m. Eastern Time yesterday, about 10 p.m. here in the UK, and it began with the US submarine launching about 24 Tomahawk missiles. He then described aircraft that had flown ahead of these big B-2 aircraft to run a deception mission, essentially to confuse the Iranian defence systems. But he also said that not a single shot had been fired and that he thought that the US strike package, as he called it, had got in and out of Iran without being detected, and that they had used 125 aircraft, 75 precision-guided missiles and 14 of these massive ordnance penetrators that we have been talking about. We'll discuss the actual logistics of that operation with our security expert, Mikey Caine, in just a moment. But for now, let's go back over to Washington, D.C. to our Chief North America correspondent, Gary O'Donoghue. Gary, a lot of praise there from the Secretary and the Joint Chiefs of Staff for the members of the military who carried it out and for the President himself. They're clearly very happy with how this operation went.
They are, and they've sort of flooded the zone there with quite a lot of facts, which of course everyone will pore over and make of what they will. The one thing I will draw out of that was that they did say twice that the battle damage assessment is ongoing, and that is something that is what you would expect, and is a little bit